Welcome back to another exclusive episode of Hi Events. I'm joining you from Courtyard by Marriott, where Mullenlowe, Sri Lanka presents Brands to Stands, a stellar book written by S. Subramanyeswa. And let's head inside and see what it's all about. I'm here with the Group CEO and Chief Strategy Officer, Subbu, launching his new book, Brands to Stands. How does it feel to be in Sri Lanka?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I always loved this country and it's fantastic to be back here. I'm coming back after 9 years and, and a lot has changed, and as always, you expect it, but it's fantastic. Great feeling to be here.
Definitely, and of course, I have to ask the question, how does it feel to launch a book in this with the local Mullenlowe office as well?
It's fantastic. Again, it's an amazing feeling for me, and I've done that in India, and we're doing it here now in Sri Lanka. It's great, like Mullenlowe here in Sri Lanka. It's nice. Like I'm not bragging about myself or about our company, but our company, Mullenlowe, is the largest advertising company here in Sri Lanka. To bring out something which has got a thought leadership perspective on behalf of our company, and some amazing work that we had done. These are all real things that have happened, and to share my experience with everybody is an absolutely fantastic feeling.
Would you mind giving us a little bit of a background to the book, a bit of a synopsis if you can?
Yeah, it's about like what I had spoken here, the need for brands, because today what happens is you can't differentiate brands on the basis of rationality or emotions and all those. We used to say like, emotions, like what is the emotion? Even emotions have become a bereft space. If I take the top 1100 brands in the world, they run on 5 emotions. Now, the only way you can differentiate is on the basis of a belief, by taking a stand, because it's by having a distinct point of view, what I call it, and it's my view, it's the way I see the world and what I want to happen for the brand. And as I said, that's why I said, if I can make my belief, the brand's belief, the belief of the audience too, that's when great magic happens.
Your presentation was amazing, by the way, entertaining and informative. I also want to ask you, how do you think this book will impact the market in Sri Lanka?
I think like, if I can inspire a few marketers to to stand up for causes that are truly meaningful and can create a positive impact in the society, then I feel I had done a bit of my job, a bit of my contribution to that.
Good evening, everybody. This evening, we've invited all of you to listen to a presentation by Subbu, the CEO of Mullenlowe India, but he also holds another responsibility of being the head of planning for Asia Pacific and also the global chair for strategy. Subbu, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all of you taking your time this evening and coming here. It's my absolute pleasure and honor to be with all of you here. So I'm going to share with all of you a perspective, what I call brands to stands. Why brands need to move, transform into stands in today's context or the future context. What is a brand for? Let me ask a simple question. I thought it is to achieve the potential for a higher value in the minds of consumers than the generic unbranded product or service. Do you agree with me? As simple as that. We can give a lot of complex definitions and all, but this is, I thought, at its simplest best. Individuality, okay? These are two people I thought, because I used the cinematic example, because when I look at this from a cultural context, you see what happened was in 90s, by and largely, not just Indian context, by the world, because like, it's a different world started emerging. All his movies, he got the girl that he wanted, he got the job that he wanted, he got the money that he wanted, everything. He didn't have to fight against anything. So he went on to become another kind of icon. He continues to be. I said, I refuse. The brands are not part of marketing. I said, Why are they not part of marketing? I went to study marketing. Of course, I'm a student of marketing. But brands are not part of marketing. What do you mean by that? To me, brands are part of culture. Marketing as a subject is 90 years old or 80 years old, whatever it is kind of thing. Brands have existed much before that, much before, for thousands of years. Every city is a brand, every language is a brand, every country is a brand, every religion is a brand, every god, goddess is a brand. They're all brands. And today what's happening? It's no longer about the what, the where, the who, the how, it's about the why, which I talked about. It's no longer about what people buy, it's about what people buy into. So lastly, my point is purpose is a force as strong as gravity, but instead of pulling things down, it actually pushes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
We at Mullenlowe, Sri Lanka would like to thank all of you for actually making time to attend the Brands to Stands event today. We really hope that you enjoyed the session as much as we all did. Thank you so much, Subbu, for your time, and I'd like you to call onto the stage just once more because we at Mullenlowe, Sri Lanka have a small token of appreciation for you.
I'm here with the Chief Executive Officer of the Mullenlowe Group Sri Lanka, Thailand Bartlett. How are you feeling?
I'm good. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It was an exciting evening as well. Subbu was quite informative, quite entertaining. He was very fun to watch as well. What did you think about the whole thing?
I think Subu is an amazing guy. I was fortunate to preview this entire presentation a year ago when we had a management meeting in Dubai. And I wanted him to come to Sri Lanka to share this knowledge with all our clients and stakeholders. Yeah.
And talking about bringing this book here as well, what's the importance of launching it here in Sri Lanka with the Mullenlowe Sri Lankan group?
Yeah. No, the importance is that, in Sri Lanka, most brands have quite an easy ride because the categories that brands compete are, though we think they're competitive, they are not in a very competitive environment. Unlike in brands like in India and other parts of Europe and in other markets in the world. And therefore, we don't spend sufficient time in understanding the complete brand beliefs and the purpose behind the brands. And I thought as Sri Lanka rebounds from this crisis, that it's important that clients get an understanding of what they should get ready for as markets open up, categories open up, that every brand needs to have a clear path of direction.
Well, where do you think this book will go? How do you think it will impact the marketing, the aspiring marketeers in this country?
Firstly, the book really is not for sale. It's a collection of lots of brand stories that he has put together. So we are releasing it to all our clients. The stories are very compelling. And I think if marketers and brand teams spend time understanding the book and how these brands have turned themselves from basically products and commodities into brands with a strong purpose and belief, then it could be a guide for them to change their way of thinking as well.
I'm here with the Group Chief Creative Officer, Dilshad Jaiman. How are you doing?
Great, thank you.
Did you enjoy the proceedings? I mean, it was quite entertaining and informative.
Yeah, so Subbu is a great speaker. I've heard him speak many times before, and a dear friend. And it's wonderful to be able to share his point of view and the book Brands to Stands with the marketing communications fraternity in Sri Lanka. So we're very pleased actually that the agency was able to do this.
And would you mind giving us a little comment about, Mullenlowe Sri Lanka, the branch in Sri Lanka, and what the impact is on the atmosphere of marketing in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so we've been around now for 30 years in Sri Lanka and about 130 years in the world. And in that time, and even today, we are very, very privileged to represent 50% of the top 20 advertised categories, top 10 advertised categories actually, and 80% of the top 20 advertised categories in Sri Lanka. So we are very privileged to be able to do that. And what we've tried to do, and what we always try to do in our own way, is to have the courage to take a stand on behalf of a brand, as Subbu speaks about in his book, and to have that inherent belief that if we always very courageously, it's not easy, but we try to do what we sincerely believe is the right thing for the brand, for the people, for the community, then we can all grow. And I think that really is what we're all about.
Would you mind also telling us how you think this book will impact the Sri Lankan marketeers, if you could use that as a term?
Yeah, well, so the initial signs that we are getting is fantastic. A few people have read the book already, and a few of them are going to get the book in the upcoming days. And the feedback from the room was fabulous. So having read the book, I know that, so we are in the art of storytelling. Every brand has to have a great story, and Subbu is a fabulous storyteller. So in the 25 brands that are in the book, I think what local marketers will enjoy is looking at those stories, getting inspired by them, and maybe, just maybe, finding inspiration to apply to their own brands and to take a stand and to fly.
Yet another exciting evening with some spectacular people as well. My name is Isra, and I'm going to catch you right here at Hi Events.